Live in Western Oregon, this is NBC 16 News at 11.
Nearly 3,000 additional American troops have been ordered to the Middle East tonight amid a dangerous escalation in the U.S. showdown with Iran. Iran is threatening harsh retaliation for the killing of its top general by American forces. Good evening and thanks for joining us on NBC 16 News at 11. I am Alexis Thrower filling in. The U.S. says Qasem Soleimani for years stoked violence against Americans overseas. He was killed in an aerial ambush at Baghdad's airport. This evening, the State Department telling Americans to leave Iraq for their own safety. NBC's Richard Engel reports from Iraq.
The aftermath shows an attack that was deliberate and sustained. With around a half dozen explosions, the Americans firing with drones clearly didn't want to miss their target, Iran's general Qasem Soleimani. He'd reportedly just gotten into Iraq from Beirut and was leaving Baghdad airport when he was killed in a convoy of vehicles along with a top Iraqi militia leader. President Trump tonight.
Soleimani was plotting imminent and sinister attacks on American diplomats and military personnel, but we caught him in the act and terminated him.
Qasem Soleimani was no ordinary general. The U.S. officially classified him as a terrorist, but in Iran, he was a national hero. Specifically, Soleimani was in charge of spreading Iranian influence around the world. Anytime Iran attacked oil tankers in the Persian Gulf and then denied it, or attacked oil facilities in Saudi Arabia and denied that too, U.S. officials saw Soleimani's handiwork. His power made Iranians proud. Today, Iranians in the thousands came out to show their love and their anger. For years, Soleimani operated in the shadows, and he spilled a lot of American blood. He was the secret architect of a long campaign against U.S. troops in Iraq after the 2003 invasion, killing hundreds. Iran's top Ayatollah visited Soleimani's family and promised severe revenge. The most immediate concern is in Baghdad, where Shiite militia leaders loyal to Soleimani, the same militias that for days attacked the U.S. embassy, will take to the streets tomorrow to mourn and show their rage.
And tonight, an Iraqi security official tells us there's been yet another American airstrike on a convoy, this one a convoy of Iraqi Shia militia leaders, the same Shia militias who are expected to protest in Baghdad, not far from the U.S. Embassy, an angry demonstration that now could be a lot worse, a lot more dangerous. Richard Engel, NBC News, Erbil.
Local political experts are also weighing in on the White House's decision to call that airstrike, one being an Oregon State University historian, Christopher Nichols. He says the actions that the U.S. has taken against Iran have been extreme since President Trump took office, including pulling out from the Iran nuclear deal and today's strike.
Now, it could be that this is part of a broader strategy of that kind of extreme push against Iran to try to get them back to the diplomatic table.
He says the action could come with unforeseen consequences, but it's tough to say what comes next for both the U.S. and Iran. Lawmakers are divided over the strike, with a number of Republicans praising the decision and many Democrats worried about escalating an already volatile situation. We spoke with Senator Ron Wyden earlier this evening before a town hall in Eugene. Senator Wyden said Soleimani had, quote, blood on his hands, but says the president should have gotten approval from Congress. Wyden told us he feels strongly about respecting Congress's authority to declare war instead of surrendering it. Wyden sits on the Senate Intelligence Committee, and he hopes to have some questions answered in classified briefings.
I would like to know more about the specifics before this action took place that the president undertook to protect our military and civilian folks in the area.
According to Wyden, Iran is unpredictable. He says the U.S. should be ready for a whole host of challenges if Iran retaliates. A federal judge has allowed an indicted associate of Rudy Giuliani to provide data and documents relevant to the impeachment proceedings against President Trump to the House Intelligence Committee. The associate, Lev Parnas, was arrested last October on campaign finance charges. Those charges include an alleged attempt to pay for political influence through taking money from foreign entities and funneling it to U.S. political candidates. Parnas initially refused to turn over evidence to the House in September last year, but began to comply apply in October after being arrested. Parnas's attorney now claims he has more information to turn over that is within the scope of congressional subpoena and relevant to current impeachment proceedings. That information includes 2 sets of documents seized from Parnas's home and other documentation on his cell. A man is in serious condition after a shooting at a mobile home park in Junction City this morning. The Lane County Sheriff's Office says police and medics responded to a call at Tivoli Mobile Home Park shortly after 10 a.m. Another man is being questioned by investigators.
The other male has been detained for questioning. Still very early in this investigation. We have detectives working to determine what exactly led up to the events that occurred this morning.
Carver says both men know each other. Further details will be released as the investigation continues. There's no ongoing threat at this time. House Bill 2393 is now passed, closing a loophole to the 2015 revenge porn law that was signed by Governor Brown. According to the new state law, a person can be sued if they spread nude photos or videos of someone with the intent to harass, humiliate, advertise, or publish. This reaffirms the state's stance that it's a crime to release intimate photos or videos of a person without their consent.
Now the victim has the ability to sue. $5,000 for damages. Now we have at least a law to point to so that judges, DAs, law enforcement now has at least a little bit of support where they know now that this is something different, something unique.
Women's Space is one of the examples that has seen cases of sexual exploitation, and now Weissman says she's glad the new law is closing the loopholes to provide better safety.
I really appreciate what the Attorney General and the Governor and the legislature is doing about this. I think it keeps all of us more safe, children especially. This law also makes that more restrictive too, because there's a little piece, I'm not going to speak to that completely, but there is a component in there that protects children too. So all of that makes our families and us safer. So.
With technology advancing every day, the new law may bring more perpetrators to justice than before. On to a first look at weather. NBC 16's meteorologist Josh Cozart is standing by in the Weather Center. What's going on in the weather today?
Well, Alexis, we did get a little bit of sunshine. That allowed temperatures to warm up into low 60s, actually breaking a record in Eugene of 61 degrees, last set back in 1994 with a temperature of 60. But now temperatures are falling back in towards the mid 40s, and the rain showers have started to move into our area, at least the Eugene-Springfield area, right around 10 o'clock or so. But our radar and satellite really showing that the push of moisture continues its eastward progression. Snow expected in the higher elevations as we make our way through the rest of tonight. But breezy conditions as this cold front moves through, now starting to fall back through the valleys to about 15-16 miles per hour and out of the west. Before tonight, rain continues to be the biggest concern, and then we start to dry things out tomorrow with pockets of sunshine a possibility. But I'll have a better timeline and just how much rain we should see and how much snow in the mountains in my full forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Josh. And coming up next on NBC 16 News at 11, an alarming recognition from the Eugene Mission as a rise in homelessness has occurred from people of the middle and retirement age. What may be behind such trend? And later in the show, the South Coast has placed needle drop-off containers around town. How this is significantly helping one woman in the area.
Monday on NBC 16 Today.
Hopefully you're enjoying your
16 News at 11.
Staff at the Eugene Mission say they're concerned about an increase in middle and retirement age people dealing with homelessness. NBC 16's Alex Hossenstaub spoke with mission staff about what might be causing this issue.
A sea of gray hair and beards at the Eugene Mission highlights an issue that Maria Cortez says has been increasing over the past few years.
Last year, of the approximately 2,000 guests that we had here, 35%, or just over 700, were over the age of 50.
49-year-old Corbett Lantis will soon be a part of that demographic. He tells us he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma at age 18 and has dealt with houselessness on and off again since. And aging hasn't helped the situation.
As I'm aging, I'm suffering what they call the late effects. So it's been very difficult for me to maintain full-time employment. It's been a struggle.
Lantis says he's currently working on getting disability benefits, but full Social Security benefits don't start until age 66 or 67.
And I'm a ways off.
Cortez says this isn't a problem unique to Eugene.
I think that there nationally have been a lot of concerns around our aging baby boomer generation and the need for more services.
She says many of the mission's guests receive some sort of benefits she estimates range from around $500 to $900 a month. And she says other factors like lack of address and health issues can be barriers to housing.
What's possible in terms of housing is typically either low-income housing or affordable housing, which many of us know that the lists are very long.
Lantis believes the key issue is housing, but he's found Eugene has led the way in homeless services.
There's a lot of new construction and housing projects towards downtown. They're going to pack them full.
For the unhoused, retirement looks quite different. I'm Alex Hassenstab reporting.
The 40-day strike of General Motors hurt the company financially. GM said it sold 25% less vehicles to dealerships in the last 3 months of the year. But sales by those dealerships to customers only fell by 6.3% in the quarter because GM stocked up on inventory ahead of the strike. The strike stopped production at U.S. factories from September 16th to October 25th. Workers were demanding better pay and benefits. The company said when all the accounting is done, they'll find that the strike reduced profits by $2.9 billion. Apple devices could include surround sound one day. The U.S. Patent and Trademark granted the tech company a new patent Tuesday. The patent is for a virtual acoustic system. The system would possibly make the audio coming from a MacBook sound like it's coming from different angles. Apple is hoping that would create a more immersive feel while watching videos on the laptop. But just because Apple has the patent does not mean the feature will end up in a MacBook anytime soon. Companies like Apple are granted patents for ideas that sometimes never make their way to the market. Turning to weather now, NBC 16's meteorologist Josh Cozart is standing by for a look at what's coming up in your full forecast. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Alexis. The rain showers have already started to move into western Oregon, and that will be a trend we continue to see through the overnight hours tonight. How long does it last, though, and how much will we actually end up with on the ground? I'll have all those details in my full forecast after the break.
Prescription comes to $72.20.
That's larceny. D16 News at 11.
Thanks to law enforcement and health agencies, there are new sharps disposal sites on the South Coast. NBC 16's Laura Negretti reports.
Well, I need the shots to grow.
Landon Molinax is 8. His brother Nathan, 14. Both take growth hormones. Their mother Claire says they each fill up a Sharps container every month. The containers cost $25 in disposal and replacement fees.
We have like 4 months worth of Sharps containers just piled up because we haven't been able to afford that extra expense.
Coos Bay officials say proper syringe disposal and a safer community begins by opening this box.
The cost of the boxes and the disposal process is covered by HIV Alliance and Advanced Health. There are boxes at the North Bend Fire Department and Coos Bay Stations 1 and 2.
I think it's going to be a mix of people. People out walking through the woods that may find syringes that have been discarded improperly. I've seen that on Facebook a lot. And then primarily diabetics and other people that use injectable medications. They would be able to have a disposal site.
Adkin's mother had diabetes. He grew up with her makeshift coffee canister Sharps containers. At the Coos Bay Police Department, they get a call about needles found at public parks and parking lots a couple times a week.
But a lot of times the ones that we're finding on the streets are used in illicit purposes like drugs.
He says the most important thing is keeping the discarded needles away from curious kids. For Claire Molinax and her sons, the program brings a peace of mind.
And just knowing now that we'll have a place to dispose of them safely, properly, and without a fee, a burden lifted off our shoulders.
Reporting in Coos County, I'm Lauren Negretti.
Many rang in the new year with the flu. According to the latest data from the CDC, 37 states are now reporting high flu activity. That is an increase from 28 states last week. Over 6 million people have come down with the flu so far this season, and 55,000 had to be hospitalized. There have been nearly 3,000 deaths, and 27 of those were children. There is still time to get the flu shot, but just remember it takes about 2 weeks for immunity to develop. As the temperatures drop, the concerns over healthy air quality are growing. The time between November to February is usually when Lane Regional Air Protection Agency sees the worst air stagnation. Lane County has already seen periods of poor air quality in October. Executive Director Merlin Huff says those early incidents signal more bad days to come.
If you don't have that sun angle heating up the ground surface, that can contribute more to air stagnation. Also, cooler weather is going to mean more home heating demand. And if you're using wood to meet that demand, then that means more wood burning.
To prevent this, Huff urges homeowners to cut down on wood burning and to check LaRapa's website for updates. You can get daily updates on their website at larapa.org.
And now weather with meteorologist Josh Cozart.
Overall, today was a great day to kind of wrap up our week as sunshine really warmed things up and temperatures warmed into the low 60s for many locations. But now a live look over the downtown Roseburg area. You can kind of notice our camera is shifting just a little bit thanks to those breezier conditions as this cold front continues to push its way through our area. But up towards Santee and Pass, a few snow flurries are already starting to fall. Tricky travel conditions are a possibility late tonight and even into your Saturday as heavy snowfall is yet again expected to fall. That's where the National Weather Service has a winter weather advisory in effect, where we could see anywhere from about 6 to 12 inches at elevations above 2,000 feet tonight and into tomorrow morning. Radar and satellite, however, already showing the big swath of rain pushing its way further off towards the east. A few lightning bolts into southern Coos County just a little bit earlier, and then the snow flurries will get going as we make our way through the overnight hours tonight. But what does that mean for all of us for the rest of the evening? Well, the rain will hold tight for us and temperatures will fall near 40 degrees for many locations, all in part to this cold front that is currently pushing its way through the Pacific Northwest. And yes, it is going to hold true to its name, and it will be impacting our temperatures as we fall back to average for this time of year, which is in the mid-40s for the next several days. Dry air pushes its way further off towards the east, and the moisture plume continues to funnel its way into our area, which we will take it, especially coming out after a very dry December and November. So our weekend rain is still a possibility with this next system. And then storm number 3 takes aim at the Pacific Northwest yet again, and that will be our rain chances as we move into Tuesday and Wednesday. Here's our futurecast. The snow machine really gets going through the Cascades right after midnight or so. Still heavy rainfall expected through the I-5 corridor and out towards the coast. But once we make our way into the morning hours, afternoon, we really start to see the drying trend begin for a good portion of our area, holding tight to the mostly cloudy skies, but the sunshine might poke through here and there. It's into our Sunday, though, that the next swath of rain really moves in. Snow showers still a possibility through the Cascades, but I don't think it's going to be as heavy as what we will experience later tonight. And then we start the drying trend yet again into Sunday evening. So over the next 48 hours, expecting to see close to a half an inch in many valley locations, greater amounts near Lincoln County with just about an inch to an inch and a quarter of rainfall possibility. But temperatures tomorrow will be cooler, only managing to make it up in towards the mid to upper 40s with drying conditions in the afternoon. But then those rain chances, they quickly return. 45 degrees are expected high on Sunday. Drier air moves in yet again on Monday, and then the rain chances return late Tuesday and Wednesday. So the roller coaster ride of sunshine, or pockets of that, and rain chances continues for the next 7 days. Out towards the coast, we'll start to see drying conditions as we make our way into the morning hours on our Saturday. Heavy rainfall expected on Sunday. Highs will be close to 50 degrees and overnight lows not too bad into the low 40s, which is where we should be for this time of year. Down towards the Umpqua Valley, a rainy start to your Saturday, but the sunshine will more likely poke out in the southern forecasting areas. And then those rain chances, they're spotty here and there for the next 7 days.
Well, if I needed an excuse to look forward to Monday, then it would be,
then that would be the case.
Less rain. Yeah, so thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And next in sports, start of conference play for the Oregon and Oregon State women's basketball teams. Highlights and reactions.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Three Rivers Casino Resort.
It was not a good start to the Pac-12 season for Ducks and Beavers basketball. Both men's teams lost on the road last night, but the women's teams were both home tonight, number 2 and 3 in the country, hosting the Mountain Schools. And we'll kick it off with the second-ranked Ducks taking on unbeaten Colorado Buffs, 12-0. And they get off to a quick start. Off the tip into the corner for Jalen Sherrod. It's 3-0 visitors. After that bucket, though, the Ducks go on a little bit of a run. How about a 23-3 run off the turnover? Check out the save. Sabrina Ionescu to Aaron Boley, ahead to Satu Sabali. Easy lay-in on the other end. Ducks making a habit of turning defense into offense. Ionescu at midcourt, the trap, the steal, takes it the other way. 21.6 rebounds, 7 assists for Sabrina. It's 18-5 Ducks. Later in the quarter, Ionescu drives, gets a little stuck there. No look pass to Mignon Moore. And with the lane cleared by Sabrina, the USC transfer, and one, Ducks cruising. Sometimes these highlights just turn into a Sabrina passing clinic. That was the case in this one. Finds Sabali cutting to the hoop. Oregon 1-0 in conference play, 104-46, the final score. Over to Gill Coliseum, Beavers welcoming in Utah. First points of the game via Michaela Pivic. As she is strong, she shows the strength right here to the hoop. Off the glass, it's 2-0 Beavs. Pivic was on fire in the early going. Later in the first, off the Kat Tudor miss. Pivic, the rebound, she goes right back up with it. What can't she do? 15 points, 8 rebounds for Mick. It's 21-6 OSU. Kat Tudor, though, I mentioned her back from that ACL injury. She's got her legs under her. 3-ball is good. It's 29-15. Utah stages a little bit of a comeback. Andrea Torres from the top of the key. That is good. It's an 11-point game. And check out this move. The reverse prayer from Drew Gilton. Not guilty about that. It's down to single digits. Not for long. Maddie Washington, the move inside. Turnaround jumper pushes the Oregon State lead back to 13. Then Washington again. Will not be denied, not by the defender and not by the rim. The Beavers aren't denied. They win 77-48. High school basketball, Sheldon hosting Mountain View, and Irish, the ones getting off to a strong start early. Bounce pass inside to Nash Kuykendall. Basket is good, Sheldon in front. Doing it on the set, now doing it on the fast break. Kuykendall, tally up another, the junior racking them up. Cougars would try to climb back in this one off the Sheldon turnover. Long pass ahead to Austin Fields, and he finishes on the other end. Sheldon, though, still in control in this one. Again, they would go inside. This time, it's Nick Yakovich off the glass, and good. A dominating win for Sheldon, 73-45, the final. And that is all the time we have for sports. Let's go back to you.
Coming up next on NBC 16 News at 11, a new year, a new outlook. That's how 2020 started for a single mother in Las Vegas.
At Chevy.
In Las Vegas, Charlie Dantzler was driving for Uber on New Year's Eve, hoping to cash in on revelers, and boy, did she ever. She was driving a family down the strip, telling them her life story when they offered her an unbelievable gift, a $2,000 tip. Dantzler says she heard of random acts of kindness happening to others, but she never expected to be a lucky recipient. Now she's looking for the Arizona family so she can properly thank them. Isn't that sweet?
Wow, I would like a big check like that just for saying
I mean, I did have
right.
somebody do a random act of kindness for me a couple weeks ago, like in the Starbucks drive-thru. They paid for like half my stuff.
I've done that, and they're supposed to do it for the person behind you, too. So
right, and it just keeps going. So thank you for watching NBC 16 at 11. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Showing off those new frames, huh?
Yeah, they're the